Hello, and welcome to the Divorced Dadvocate, divorce support for dads, where we help dads create a healthy and less traumatic divorce. My name is Jude Sandoval, and I'm your host. I created this podcast and the Divorced Advocate community as a result of my own high conflict divorce, and because you as a dad deserve all the resources necessary to thrive through this challenging time. I encourage you to check out our website at thedivorcedadvocate.com, where there are resources that correspond to this episode, as well as free access to our membership community, where you will find live meetings, free workshops and courses, private discussion groups, and more. And now, on to this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to the show. I'm thrilled that you're here today. If it's your first time listening, welcome. If you're tuning in again, welcome back. We have a topic today called Dad Power, the scientific blueprint for raising healthy adults. Now, I know last week we had a short and sweet, humorous episode. I had mentioned that I'm going to try to keep this humorous through the holidays. Typically, I'll do something that is a little bit heavier, talking about emotions and working through and trying to mitigate some of the emotions going through the holidays. If that's something that you are experiencing, go back to last year, December podcast, and we go through a whole series of how to handle your emotions through this difficult holiday season. Difficult in the sense that it might be the first time that you're going through the holidays without any of your kids, or it might be difficult in the sense that you're going through the holidays by yourself with your kiddos for the first time. Everything changes. Everything's a little bit different. There's going to be different traditions, etc. So check that out if you need to learn and need some skills and just some advice on how to handle those emotions through the holidays. Today, I wanted to talk about the dad power, and so I am going to go off on what I said. I'm going to go off topic from what I said about just being humorous. And I wanted to do this because I wanted to emphasize to you, while you might be going through the challenges of this time during the holidays and the uncertainty and going through the emotions coming up, I wanted to emphasize how incredibly important you are to your children. And so, we're often the unsung heroes in the narrative of child development, but we play a pivotal role, if not one of the most crucial roles, in shaping their health and their well-being and our children's well-being. But before we go into specific details around this, let me just welcome a few people to the Divorced Advocate community. That's Eric, Ash, and Peter. Welcome to the community. If you're not part of the community, check out the website at thedivorcedadvocate.com under the membership site. There are all kinds of tools and resources for you there, even on the website that are free. Check out the divorce quiz. It will help you to gauge where you're at in your divorce compared to others who have gone through it. That's completely free. You can check out the blog posts and everything else that is there. If you're not a member, become a member, get involved, and jump on some of our group calls and everything else. Okay, so back to Dad Power, the scientific blueprint for raising healthy adults. So scientific studies provide robust evidence that highlights the profound impact that fathers have on the journey to healthy adulthood. So what I want to do is I want to explore 10 reasons that are each rooted in concrete statistics from reputable studies that underscore the crucial role that dads play. And then we're going to also talk about real-world examples that will breathe some life into these numbers. First one, enhanced cognitive development. So I'm going to break this down in 10 different categories with statistics. The first part of each of these 10 is going to be the scientific study. And the second part is going to be a real world example around how this impacts the kiddos. So the first one is the Journal of Marriage and Family reported a 2.6 point increase in cognitive development scores in children with engaged fathers. So this just means active father involvement in activities like reading and problem solving stimulates brain development. And consider a father and child exploring a science experiment together, fostering curiosity and cognitive growth. So, there's positive and benefits that both mothers and fathers bring to the table in child rearing. One of the most important ones is that that cognitive development that dads will bring to doing things like science projects, doing homework, bringing some if you want to describe it as linear thinking to some topics, or to homework, or to science projects, etc. So enhanced cognitive development is definitely a benefit. The next is behavioral stability. The scientific studies, research from the U.S. National Library of Medicine found that children with involved fathers are 43% less likely to exhibit behavioral problems. So that's pretty significant. Almost half, they're almost half is likely to exhibit behavioral problems if there's a father involved in their life. So a real world example of this is setting consistent boundaries and providing clear discipline guides the child towards behavioral stability. This is representative of a father and a child navigating a challenging situation with patience and understanding. So, specifically that those boundaries and discipline are really incredibly important, and just this does not seem to be something that we hear quite often in our society these days. With just in general, I don't want to get into too much commentary around that, but setting consistent boundaries and providing clear discipline guides children. And there's some other studies, and I'm going to recommend a really good book. It's called The Boy Crisis. And in it, I can't remember the author's name. He talks about the differences in parenting between men and women. And one of the things that he does highlight is the way in which fathers will discipline children and how they're more stringent in disciplining children, and mothers are a little more lenient. Now, again, both are beneficial, but there is something to be said for having that, setting those consistent boundaries and providing clear discipline guides. Number 3, emotional intelligence growth. The scientific study, a study in the American Journal of Orthopsychiatry showed a 17.5% increase in emotional intelligence scores among children with actively involved fathers. That's pretty amazing. Now, I want to point something out here to you, gentlemen. These aren't insignificant percentages and numbers, and you might not hear these. We definitely don't hear these on a daily basis. You don't hear the newspapers or the media quoting all of these benefits and all of these reasons why fatherhood and fathers are important in our society. These are not insignificant numbers. 43% less likely to exhibit behavioral problems. That is huge. If we want to deal with all the challenges that we're having in our schools these days, right here, it's get fathers involved, make sure that fathers are involved, emphasize fathers' parental involvement. This one, a 17.5% increase in emotional intelligence scores. That's absolutely astounding. So engaging in conversations about emotions and modeling empathy contributes to emotional intelligence. So this during our divorce right now, this can be a great opportunity to be able to do that. Now, when we're working through our own stuff and we're working on understanding our own emotions and having our challenges with dealing with those emotions, it's a great opportunity to be able to share, obviously age appropriate, with the kiddos about what you might be going through. That's going to help build their emotional intelligence. And you've heard me say it before, but there's no other better way for them to learn than through than them watching us model this type of any kind of behavior. So they learn best by watching us, not listening to us. So if we're modeling good behavior, if we are helping to show them through this challenging time a good and healthy way to go about it, then this is going to help them more than anything else that we could try to say or try to teach them. So it's actually an opportunity, if you can look at it that way. It's an opportunity to demonstrate to them that while facing one of the most difficult and challenging situations, that you can do it in a healthy or as healthy a possible way as you can, and share that with them. Number 4, academic achievement catalyst. The Journal of Research on Adolescence found that children with engaged fathers were, now this isn't a typo, 98% more likely to graduate for college. I'll say that again. The Journal of Research on Adolescence found that children with engaged fathers were 98% more likely to graduate for college. So the real world example is active support in a child's educational journey, attending parent-teacher conferences, encouraging a love for learning. This all sets the stage for academic success. So that's helping with homework, fostering a positive attitude towards education, and emphasizing lifelong learning with them. So whether you have been involved or not to this point, coming here in the near future, if you are not yet divorced and working on it, is you will be involved in this. And again, this can be a giant, huge, good opportunity for you. You've probably heard me say it before, and you probably get sick of it, but I recognize and I realize it's incredibly difficult and hard to embrace and to wrap your head around while you're going through the divorce. But this can be a huge opportunity for you in the development of your children, as well as in deepening a relationship with them. It's going to definitely, yes, be different. It probably, as it was for me, is nothing at all what I imagined it would be or how I wanted it to be. But I can assure you that there is huge opportunity within all of it if you can look for it and you can keep that type of mindset. Number 5, mental health shield. A longitudinal study by the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that children with supportive fathers had a 68% lower risk of mental health issues in adulthood. So we've got 43%, we've got 17.5%, we've got 98%, and now we've got 68% lower risk of mental health issues in adulthood. You know, I know that I am just preaching to the choir here and speaking with you, because if you're listening to this, you already know that it's important for you to be involved in your kids' lives. But why these studies, and this is just research that me, who's nobody, not very smart, found on the internet and able to pull off. There's much more. There are just tons and tons, volumes and volumes of information that states the significant impact that you are having on your children, that fathers have on their children. So it just begs the question: is why isn't there a movement to emphasize fathers and lift fathers up? And again, this is a rhetorical question, y'all. So to get fathers just glorified in our society, if we see that these 43% less likely to exhibit behavioral problems, 17.5% increase in emotional intelligence, 98% more likely to graduate from college, 68% lower risk of mental health issues. These are huge, huge numbers. Can you imagine the impact on society if this were to become a movement? So maybe it's something we need to talk about and we need to start working on. But so around this mental health shield, providing emotional support and fostering a positive environment at home contributes to a child's mental well-being. Actively engaging in conversations about mental health and promoting a stigma-free environment. Again, this can be, during this challenging time, an opportunity to talk about things like mental health or your emotions or dealing with sadness or depression or whatever it is with your kiddos, so that it destigmatizes some of those issues and some of those experiences that they may have when they grow older, or that they might be having now, depending on their age, and modeling the right way in which you handle each of those issues. So again, this can be an opportunity. Number 6, substance abuse prevention. Research from the National Center for Biotechnology Information highlighted a 48% reduction in the likelihood of substance abuse among adolescents with involved fathers. Another just mind-boggling, it cuts in half the likelihood of substance abuse if fathers are involved in their children's lives. So instilling values, setting expectations, and promoting healthy behaviors serves as a preventive measure against substance abuse. Let's educate our kids on the risks associated with substances and substance abuse, fellas. And on that note, while we're going through this difficult and challenging time, make sure that you're not utilizing something that's going to numb or keep you from paying attention to what's coming up and what you need to be doing and the responsibility you need to be taking through this difficult and challenging time. I know it can be hard to do that, but in particular during the holidays, but if you need help, get the help you need to, and don't go down that route. Your kids need you. Number 7, obesity mitigation. A study in the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health found that children with actively involved fathers had a 30% lower risk of obesity. So promoting a physically active lifestyle, engaging in sports together, and making nutritious choices, this all contributes to reducing or preventing obesity. So share those activities, prioritize health and well-being. That's an incredibly important one. It's one of the 4 pillars that we talk about, taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So that physical part of it, in teaching them health and well-being and prioritizing that, taking the time to be active and taking care of yourself, again, is going to model for them, but also it's going to help you to emphasize to them that this is a lifelong thing that they need to be doing. And obviously, that's going to lead to a lower risk of obesity. I say obviously because the studies show it. Number 8, stress resilience building. The University of California, Riverside conducted a study revealing a 22% increase in stress resilience among adolescents with engaged fathers. So this looks like what I just talked about, teaching coping mechanisms, providing a supportive environment, and being a pillar of strength helps build resilience. So navigating challenges together, fostering resilience, that is what we do as fathers. That's what we're doing through this difficult and challenging time. So again, you kind of hear the theme along all of this with the modeling and going through this and what you might be going through right now while it is difficult and challenging and painful and very, very uncertain. Uncertain is absolutely something that is an experience that your children are watching, and it is actually helping them to see you go through this difficult and challenging period of time. So continue to stay strong in what it is that you need to do, whatever that path might be throughout your divorce or your post-divorce, because it is having a positive impact on your kiddos. Number 9, depression prevention. A study from the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry demonstrated a 38% reduction in the incidence of depression among children with positively involved fathers. Just active involvement in the kiddos' emotional well-being and providing a safe space for expression aids in preventing depression. Support the kiddos through these life's ups and downs. Number 10, relationship harmony. According to a study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family, children with involved fathers had a 33% lower likelihood of experiencing relationship problems in adulthood. So this goes back again, modeling healthy relationships, demonstrating respect, and providing a stable family environment sets the stage for positive future relationships. And this can look like being respectful and not bad-mouthing your ex or soon-to-be ex, and also showing what it can be like to be a positive co-parent throughout this throughout this time after your divorce is final, even while going through the divorce. So this will teach the kiddos how to have a better relationships in the future, because they're going to run into difficulties and people and challenges and breakups and some of the similar things that we're going through now, that we're experiencing through this period of divorce. So here's my conclusion. The scientific evidence is not just a collection of numbers. I know we don't hear it shouted from the rooftops anywhere in our society. They're definitely not making movies about it. And there is no campaign to glorify or lift up fathers, but it's a compelling story of the invaluable impact fathers have on their children's journey to healthy adulthood. From cognitive development to emotional resilience and the prevention of various societal challenges, the influence of actively involved fathers is quantifiable and profound. Let me just read through a couple of these again, these significant ones again, to I just want you to be uplifted, and I want you to know what an impact and what you can be doing, what you are doing for your kiddos by being involved in their lives. 43% less likely to exhibit behavioral problems in adulthood, 17.5% increase in emotional intelligence scores, 98% more likely to graduate from college, 68% lower risk of mental health issues in adulthood, 48% reduction in likelihood of substance abuse, 30% lower risk of obesity, 22% increase in stress resilience, 38% reduction in the incidence of depression, and 33% lower likelihood of experiencing relationship problems in adulthood. Guys, that is absolutely astronomical. There's nothing that you can do better. There's nothing more that is better for your kiddos than your involvement in their lives. So, let's celebrate the crucial role that we have as dads, and continue to recognize and support the influence that we have in nurturing the future generations of well-adjusted and healthy kiddos as they become fathers. The sons will become fathers, the daughters will become mothers, but as they grow up to be healthy adults. So, fellas, I hope that's just a little bit of an inspiration for you to take and feel just inspired to get through this challenging time of your life, but also this challenging time of the year in respect to the holidays and to what you're going through. So just know that staying strong and fighting the good fight, staying involved with your kids, no matter what, is the most important thing that you can do for them. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please share it far and wide on social media. Give us a star rating, or better yet, leave us some comments. But share this with everybody and anybody that you know that is a dad or a divorcing dad that can help change their lives. I sincerely appreciate you listening today. Have a fantastic week. I will talk to you next week, and God bless. To hear the rest of this episode and access the corresponding resources, visit thedivorcedadvocate.com and become a member of our community. It's free to join and will provide you with the resources you deserve as a divorced or divorcing dad. Thank you for listening. God bless, and I'll talk with you next week.